Today, we're diving into the world of baby books, specifically what we've got on our shelf and what we borrowed in the past that I'd recommend for little ones. I know choosing books can feel overwhelming with so many options out there, so I thought I'd share some of our reading experience and favorites and what makes them special for us. A bit of background about our family. We have a 19-month-old daughter, Elle. She enjoys reading. If you've been on this channel before, you've probably seen some of the baby and toddler activities we've done, but reading is also a huge part of our daily routine. We've been slowly building up our home library, and we also regularly borrow books from our local library to keep things fresh for everyone. We have slightly over 10 books. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first one is my car. It's pretty beat up now because she'd grab this one and come to ask us to read to her almost every day. I like the bright colors and high contrast. It even has a bit of plot twist at the end. Elle flips through pages so quickly. This one has just the right amount of words per page. We can actually finish reading a page by the time she moves on. So this is another aspect why we really enjoy this book. We also read her My Bike and Boats from this series, but she didn't reach for those as much. The point I wanted to make here is that I didn't make this video trying to push you to buy a specific book. It's more like, hey, we found a gem in this series. Something in the series worked out for our family, so it may be worth checking out for your baby. Next, I want to talk about a big category of books, and they are books with real pictures. I'm sure I'm not the first one to say this, but my baby's favorite books are from the Love Avery series based on how frequently those are picked up by her. If you're not familiar with Love Avery, it's a toy subscription service. Books from the subscription boxes are pretty much all hit with Elle. The books use all real-life pictures and scenes. Like in this Bedtime for Zoe book, it's about Zoe's bedtime routine from bath time to bedtime story. The first one we ever got was this gesture one called My First Signs. Elle learned some of the gestures from this book that she still uses them to communicate with us today. Now when we read the book, she'd actively mimic each page's gesture, which I found is really interesting. I also bought an additional set from Target. I know their books can be a bit harder to get outside of the toy subscription boxes. Maybe this set is a good starting point to see if they resonate with your baby. I don't own all the Love Avery books, and for those that I have, another favorite from Love Avery is Max and Nana Go to the Park. I feel like we've read this 1,000 times, and it actually inspired me to make our own family board book. I recently started my new job, and before this, I had some precious downtime to go on morning walks with Elle and my parents. And one day, the light bulb just went off in my head. Elle likes Max and Nana Go to the Park, and we go to the park almost every day. Why don't we make a board book of our own that is filled with our story and memories? I have to admit, I didn't do extensive research on who was the best provider out there to make baby board books, so I just went with one of the top results. I think the vendor is called Artifact Uprising. I spent some time thinking about our storyline and then added pictures and text. It took me just several hours to create a book in both English and Chinese, and then I just sat and waited until the printing job was done. When the book arrived, Elle was obsessed. She flipped through it again and again, and she still loves reading it. I gave the Chinese copy to my parents, so I just want to highlight that your story and life can be the favorite material for your reading time with your baby too. Another real-life picture series I like is Global Baby series. I don't have them on hand because we only got them from the library, but in general, I think it's nice to introduce diversity early on. These books are packed with beautiful photographies of babies from around the world, and I recommend checking it out if you want to add a bit of culture variety. We also have My First Yoga at the age of 19 months right now. Elle is just okay with this book. She'd read it, but it's not a book she's super excited about. This book goes through real photos of young children practicing different yoga moves, and the pages feel lively. It's thick and feels durable. For example, this pages teaches you can sit like a beautiful butterfly to do a butterfly pose. And the next page, do the lion's breath pose. So this book can also help develop your baby's learning of certain animals. I hope that eventually this book will grow on her and she will start copying some of the yoga poses and do these on her own. Or we can do it together, which will be fun. One of the reading staples in our home library is Chris Houghton's Little Library 5 board books collection. In this series, each book features a different story, like Oh No George has a lot of humor, Don't Worry Little Crab teaches you about courage, and Good Night Everyone is just great for calming your baby down before bedtime. The illustration style has a hand-drawn charm and it's just beautiful to look at. When we read to our little one as the adult, we also want something enjoyable for us, right? So I think this series is just a well-rounded collection. There's relatable parts in each of the story, and I think Chris has a wonderful way of making each story engaging and make you want to know what happens next. This set also holds up pretty well after countless readings, so it's definitely a collection I'd highly recommend to any parent or caregiver. Another hands-down favorite is I Love You Through and Through. It always brings a smile to Elle. When I read it, I also have a warm and fuzzy feeling. The illustrations are very adorable. The messages you're sending to your child from this book are very sweet and also simple and short. It's just about the right length and can hold my daughter's attention from start to finish. The next one we enjoy is I Can Explore by Betsy Snyder. What makes this series stand out is the idea of sticking your fingers through the book and making your fingers look like hands or legs of the characters in the book. The moment I saw one of the books in the series, I was sold. It encouraged a different type of interaction and imagination, and my daughter recently started to imitate me and attempted to put her fingers through the holes as well. I just love the concept for this children's book. The next book I want to talk about is also a category of books, bath books. The bath book, by definition, is indestructible in water, which makes it really great if you just want to squeeze in a bit more reading and fun for your baby's bath time. We have The Pigeon Needs a Bath. If your baby needs a bit convincing to feel excited about bath time, then this is the right one for you. This book is really short and compact. The illustration is kind of over the top, but in a good way. There are a lot of other waterproof floaty books like this one out there on the market that comes in different sizes. So just read the reviews and see what suits your baby and your family the best. The next one on my list is My First Farm. Look for the upgraded version by Haha Land. This is a quality busy board kind of book. There are many interactive things you can do, such as feeding the cow grass, dressing the sheep in different colors, counting fences, matching vegetables, etc. This book is great for independent explorations and learning, and we are planning to use it for quiet time later. Also, I want to talk just a little bit about the details of the book. It is very well made. I had another busy board. Let me tell you, the Velcro is just not strong enough. Various spots are missing the Velcro in that book. I have to choose to fix either those parts, or some of these parts are just less useful now. So this one, you can see the Velcro is sewed on tight, so you don't need to worry about things falling apart. The next one on our shelf is a lift the flap type of book called Chef by Dan Green. I bought Chef, but this is a whole series of professions. There are vets, firefighters, farmers, astronauts, etc. Each page in this book provides a detailed look or a scene into the profession's daily routine, which is great for baby to learn about people and develop the fine motor skill to lift the flap. So far, the flaps haven't been destroyed, but it definitely feels a bit on the fragile side. So just want to point that out because you do have to be careful. Last category of books I want to mention is bilingual children's book. I find bilingual children's book resources quite limited online, but from what we have, Elle really enjoys reading the My First 100 Chinese Word series by Heritage Press. This set comes with 3 books, and each book focuses on different aspects of language and cognitive learning. I believe the focus of the set isn't so much about story as it is about kind of sparking an interest in bilingual learning and building vocabulary for the very basic words. This series comes in a range of other languages too. So if you are hoping to give your baby a head start in second language learning, or just if you are part of a bilingual or multilingual family, I really think it's worth checking it out. I want to leave the classics at the end. Of course, the Very Hungry Caterpillar. This one needs no introduction. Another one in the Eric Carle series that I remembered kept our attention pretty well when she's under 6 months old was Brown Bear, What Do You See? It features large illustrations, one illustration per page, if I remember correctly, and minimal text, which I found are basically the success formula to keep our baby engaged throughout the whole book. That's everything. I hope this video helped you discover some interesting books for your little one. All the books will be linked down below in the description. If you enjoyed this video or found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and let me know what books are on your must-read list for your baby. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.